You don't need confidence to start investing. You don't need a big income. And you definitely don't need to understand everything. You just need a simple starting system. Let me show you. Most people don't avoid investing because they're lazy or broke. They avoid it because it feels confusing, risky, and overwhelming. Too many options, too much noise, and a constant fear of starting the wrong way. So doing nothing feels safer than doing something imperfect. Here's the truth most beginners don't hear. The first step in investing has almost nothing to do with markets. It has everything to do with removing decisions. Before returns, before strategies, before even choosing what to invest in. You need a system that works when motivation disappears, when life gets busy, and when doubt shows up. Because investing doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards staying in the game. Step 1. Build the floor, not the ceiling. Most beginners focus on the ceiling. How much can I make? What's the best performing stock? What if I miss the next big opportunity? That mindset creates pressure. Pressure creates hesitation. And hesitation keeps you stuck on the sidelines. Instead, start with the floor. The floor is the system that keeps you invested even when things feel boring, uncertain, or temporarily uncomfortable. Step 1 is not choosing an investment. Step 1 is deciding how investing fits into your life without relying on willpower. Ask yourself one simple question. What amount can I invest regularly without feeling stressed if it goes down or disappears for a while? Not the amount you wish you could invest. Not the amount that sounds impressive. The amount that feels forgettable. For some people, that's $20 a week. For others, $50 or $100 a month. The number doesn't matter. The emotional reaction does. If you feel anxious watching the number move, you started too big. A good starting amount should feel boring enough that you don't constantly check it. Because checking is the enemy early on. Starting small buys you something far more valuable than returns. Time in the market without emotional damage. Step 2. Choose boring on purpose. This is where most people overthink themselves into paralysis. They compare platforms. They read opinions. They watch prediction videos. And the more they learn, the less confident they feel. So let's simplify this. Your first investment is not about being smart. It's about being durable. That's why boring wins. For beginners, the goal is not to beat the market. The goal is to participate in it consistently. Broad, diversified investments exist for a reason. They remove the need to predict winners. They remove the need to time the market. You're not trying to be clever. You're trying to build a habit that survives real life. Because once consistency is locked in, everything else becomes easier to layer on later. Right now, you're not building wealth. You're building the ability to stay invested. And that skill compounds faster than any strategy. Step 3. Automate before you trust yourself. This step is where most people sabotage themselves. They tell themselves, I'll invest when I have extra money. I'll do it manually each month. I'll start once I feel ready. That's how investing turns into a someday project. Automation removes that problem entirely. When investing is automatic, it doesn't compete with your emotions. It doesn't require motivation, and it doesn't depend on discipline. It just happens. Money moves from your income to your investment without asking for your opinion every month. This is critical because the human brain is terrible at long-term consistency. Automation protects you from fear during market drops, overconfidence during market highs, and the temptation to constantly tinker. If investing requires constant decision-making, it will eventually fail. If it runs quietly in the background, it compounds. Step 4. Ignore the noise, especially early on. Early investing fails for one main reason. People pay too much attention. They check balances. They react to headlines. They panic during drops and hesitate during recoveries. But volatility is not a problem. It's the price of admission. The market goes up and down. That's normal. What's not normal is reacting emotionally to every movement. Early on, your job is not to optimize. Your job is to stay consistent long enough for the system to work. Confidence doesn't come before action. It comes after repetition. The more boring and automated your system is, the more likely you are to succeed. The big mindset shift. Here's the part most people get backwards. They think they need knowledge before they start. They think they need confidence before they invest. They think they need certainty before they commit. But investing works in reverse. You start small. You stay consistent. You survive volatility. And then, confidence shows up. Not because you learn more, but because you prove to yourself that you can stay in the game. Starting from zero doesn't require intelligence. It requires structure. If you remove complexity, remove decision fatigue, and remove emotional pressure, investing stops feeling overwhelming and starts feeling manageable. And once it feels manageable, you're already ahead of most people. Because the hardest part of investing isn't choosing what to buy, it's starting and not quitting.